How do we know where they stand financially? Are they rich or poor?
They're not.
Medium class.
They're poor.
They're middle class?
They're just getting by.
Wait, why are they poor?
Because they pay $8 a week for their apartment.
Right. Now, in the context of the time, $8 in 1903 might be decent. We don't know. But we know that his salary was what? Do you guys remember what his salary was? What Jim made?
20.
Well, before it was 20, it was 30, right? And then he got his pay cut down to 20. And how else do we know that they're struggling financially? Right in the beginning.
Afford gifts for each other.
Exactly. Why is she crying? She's crying because she only has $1.87. 60 cents of it is in pennies. Alright, so she's collecting pennies and she still doesn't have enough to buy her beloved a gift. And there's some vocab words later on. We'll talk about why she's kind of embarrassed about that at the beginning. But that's how we know that they stand financially, they're struggling. It's tough, hard times. They're trying to pull through. Think about when Jim comes home from work. Della's already been out. She's already lopped off her hair so she could get him that chain to attach to his precious watch. Why is she scared? Why is she fearful right before he comes up the stairs?
She's worried about what will and like if he'll love her still or something like that.
Right, because if you're in love with somebody, you want them to, you want to look good for them. You want to be attractive to them. Well, here she goes. She takes all that hair with all that product in it, maybe some extensions down there if they had those in 1903, and lops it all off. And now she's got kind of that Halle Berry, but she can't pull it off like that. The little curls. So she's worried about that. But what does he think when he sees her hair? What's his reaction? It's kind of a strange reaction.
If she can't read it.
She doesn't really know what to think of it.
Right. He seems kind of shocked.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's kind of staring out into the distance. Why is he shocked? Yeah.
Because he bought her good clothes and stuff.
Right. And she doesn't know that yet, right? But he walks up the stairs and realizes, oh man, and realizes the situation right away. He's shocked. Realizes that this is kind of ironic and a little sad.
Yeah.
So that's how their interpretations differ, because what does Bella immediately do, or Della, excuse me, what does she immediately do when he walks up the stairs before he says anything?
She talks about how her hair will go back and
Right.
she can be pretty.
She starts apologizing right away before he even says anything. Oh, I'm so sorry, my hair will grow back and this and that, because she thinks he's PO'd.
Yeah, about her not having this issue.
Right. So they kind of have these. She thinks he's mad. He's
Total misunderstanding of what
exactly total misunderstanding, but it all comes together. Let's think about this. This is a very basic one. We know why can't Della. Let's draw the gifts up here. This is where the illustration's getting more complex. We got, what's the gift that he gives to Della?
Comb.
Comb. The comb kind of looks like the watch. Oh. Wait, are they brushes or combs?
They're combs.
Well, that's even easier to draw.
They're like little combs that you can also like put in your
They're
hair.
bejeweled circle.
Let's just draw a standard comb that you might see
Yeah.
at the barber shop. Looks like a comb. Nah. And what does she get him?
Chain for his watch.
Chain for his watch. This is going to be a great drawing as well.
A walk chain.
You're very artistic.
Thank you. Never took one lesson. So here we have a chain for the watch and a comb for her hair. What's the problem?
They have none.
They have no watch, man.
Yeah, no hair. Here's Della now. The little curly. Hey, she's probably still a lovely lady. And it will grow back.
Some girls can pull it off.
But now she's kind of like, all my hair.
Celebrities can pull it off.
So there's the comb will work for the hair, And then there's no watch, right? The watch is not there anymore. So you got a chain and a comb, no hair, no watch. Problem. That's quite a diagram. You should probably leave that up for the next period.
Forever.
Forever. Get a tattoo of it. It's my chest.
Just when you're teaching
Oh my
lessons how. Here.
Um,
All you need to know. All you need to know.
Next question I want to ask you. At the end of the story, you kind of realize, we talked earlier about at the beginning of the story, things they value most in the world, the hair and the watch. What do they value most in the world at the end of the story?
Each other.
Each other. It's warm, fuzzy. Still feeling it? They do. So they're in love, and they do this sweet thing for us. What adjectives? I want everybody, or maybe 5 of you, to give me an adjective that might describe them as a couple.
Sacrificing.
Happy. Sacrificing.
Loving.
Loving.
Dedicated.
Dedicated. One more. Give me one more.
Willing.
Giving. Do we already have to? Willing. Willing to what?
To do anything.
Just do the.
And that's very sweet. Right? Let's talk about the Magi. You guys called it Meg earlier on. Meg Griffin, if you will. Everybody a Family Guy fan? And she had a rough life. She just gets ignored. Magi. Who were Magi? It's explained in the last paragraph.
3 kings who delivered gifts.
Right, the 3 wise men. Okay? And whether or not you go to church or temple or the mosque, wherever, the 3 wise men is a pretty common story, right? We have Christmas. We know that 3 wise men brought gifts, baby Jesus in the manger, and they came from far away, from the east, if I'm not mistaken, to find the baby, and they gave him presents. And this is explained to us by O. Henry very nicely by him. In the end, that the Magi, as you know, were wise men, wonderfully wise men, who brought gifts to the babe in the manger. Now he says, referring to us again, and here I have lamely related to you the uneventful chronicle of 2 foolish children in a flat who most unwisely sacrificed for each other the greatest treasures of their house. So he's saying it wasn't very wise of them to get in this situation, right? Because now they're left with a chain and a comb and a bald head and no watch. It's not very wise. It wasn't a very wise situation. But then he says, what does he say about him after that? Do you guys, oh, you don't have it out. And let me tell you what he says after it. Let it be said that of all who give gifts, these 2 were the wisest. Of all who give and receive gifts, such as they are the wisest. Everywhere they are the wisest, they are the Magi. So now he's saying they weren't very wise to get into this situation, right? And materialistically, they're kind of at a dead end. But he still considers them as wise as the Magi. And why is that?
Because, well, this is what I'm thinking. That because the presents or something like they love dearly, so obviously, like, you know, like, I don't know how to explain.
Oh wait, it was the gift from the heart, like and
Okay, what's a good saying that goes along with that? Say I give a present that, say for Mother's Day I give a present to my mom that she really doesn't need, she really doesn't use, but she still loves it.
the greatest gift.
Greatest gift comes from the heart. There's another saying I'm thinking of.
It's a thought that counts.
The thought that counts, exactly. Bingo, bango. It's kind of the thought that counts. And how do they end up